There are going to be times where we make the wrong call, right? We're gonna mess up, but that doesn't mean I'm afraid to solve the problems and try. The ideal way of solving problems, okay? The first thing you have to do, the letter I, is you have to identify what the problem is. Now, sometimes you identify the problem because you discover it. You're walking through the halls on Sunday morning. You're talking to a parent. You're talking to a volunteer. Sometimes your pastor identifies a problem. Now, I don't know about you, but there were years and years and years where when my pastor identified problems, I took it personally. And I bristled up, and it created tension in our relationship. Now, you'll hear from my pastor a little bit tomorrow. He's my father-in-law. We have a great relationship, but I struggled for a long time because I took his questions as an attack on me. When really his questions, he wasn't attacking me. He wasn't attacking my capability or my ability to do things. He just needed some answers. So sometimes these problems are identified by me. Sometimes they're identified by the people on my team. They're identified by my pastor. But I've got to know what the problem is. And then I'm going to move to the letter D. Everybody say D. The letter D is I have to define that problem. I have to define the problem. It's not enough to identify it in a broad stroke. I have to define what the problem is. And let's get specific. Okay, I'm not just going to have the understanding that, okay, we've got a problem in the 2-year-olds. I want to know what is the problem. Or we've got a problem with check-in. Okay, let's dig into this and let's look at what is the problem. Let's define it. The ideal way to solve problems. Next, the letter E. How am I doing on these letters? You guys like this? Pretty good at art, really, aren't I? No, I'm not. Okay. Identify, define. I'm going to next explore. What am I going to explore? Church, class. I'm going to explore options. I'm going to explore solutions. And I'm not going to explore them alone. I'm not going to explore them all by myself. Now, this is hard for us as leaders because if we are leaders, we are fixers, right? And we think, I'm the pastor, I'm the director, I'm the coordinator. It's my job to fix this. And while, yes, sometimes God does give you that solution, and God does want you to step to the plate and lead, when you're solving problems, the more people you get around the table, the better. And the more quality people, key people, stakeholders, whatever you want to call them, that you get around the table, the better. Hey, let's wrestle through this because every one of us, listen, we have blind spots, don't we? We all have blind spots, and we are going to miss things. The ideal way to solve problems, identify, define, explore. Let's move to the letter A. The letter A is action. Okay, I'm going to take action. I'm going to take action. I'm going to actually do something. I can explore solutions until I'm blue in the face, but what am I going to do? And that action means I'm going to actually have a plan for solving this. That plan is probably going to include some owners or an owner. Who's going to really own this? Who's going to make sure it happens, right? What's it going to take? What are the tasks that we have to do to get this done? What is the timeline? What's the timeline? How are we going to keep each other accountable to make sure this happens? But we're going to take action. I can identify a problem, and I can spend all kinds of time defining it and coming up with some great plans, but then I have to act. And am I always going to get it right? Nope, I'm not, and that's okay. Let's go to the letter L. The letter L, the ideal way. The letter L is look back. Look back. Look back. In other words, evaluate. Evaluate. How's it going? Was that a good call? Was it not a good call? There are going to be times where we make the wrong call, right? We're going to mess up. But that doesn't mean I'm afraid to solve the problems and try. And when I mess up, I don't need to worry about losing credibility. I don't need to worry about looking dumb. I don't need to worry about what are people going to think, what's my pastor going to think. I promise you this, that if you will attempt to solve problems, and you solve problems and do your best and follow this model, get other people on board and do your research and go. Even when you fail, your pastor will be okay with that because you're trying.